So you can't go to college and be successful if you can't read. Like that's a fundamental part of college success is being able to read. Now, I'm not saying this flippantly. I'm annoyed at people hand wringing over why Black men aren't going to college. They can't read past the fourth fucking grade. 40% of Black men are functionally illiterate. For those who are not aware, functional illiteracy is being able to read at a fourth grade level. It's enough to get you to order maybe your food from a restaurant. It's enough for you to be able to get gas. It's enough for you to understand highway signs and things like that. If almost half the demographic can't read beyond that. Okay, so we have some other. This is the nation's report card. This is from 2019, right? They actually just released a new one and it's even worse than this. So I just wanted to go with this one to give us a little half a piece of hope because everybody went down for the. No. It's not funny. It's not funny. But I just had a day of people like harassing me because they can't fucking read. So it's an everyday thing for me, right? All right. Let me try to blow this up for you. All right. And this was coming from just Virginia. I was just looking at this one. This was just a cross section of what was going on here. Okay. I found this one. This is really interesting. And Virginia is a good state to look at because it's kind of blue, kind of red, kind of mid-Atlantic. It's not quite the South. It's not quite the Northeast. It's not quite the Midwest, all of which have their own kind of thing, right? If you look right here, right, they're talking about how many students were proficient, right? Look at this. What does proficient mean? Proficient means at your reading level. What does it say here for Black people? It says 15%. How many were advanced? 1%. Okay. Now. Come on, everyone. Like, the issue is not them going to college. The issue is the fact that people are letting them get to fourth grade and eighth grade and 12th grade being unable to read. I'm not going to go on my NCLB rant because you all know what that's all about. But I can only speak from my personal experiences, right? I've been teaching about 5 years now at the college level. And I've only had one Black male student who stood out to me. First of all, I've only had 7. In fact, that I can count them, right? I've only had 7. And only one of them stood out to me. Very thoughtful young man. I mean, he's going places. He was like president of the Black Student Union. Like he's going places. This kid was obviously raised in a household where they were, they stressed education. His parents likely went to college or, that kind of thing, which is a key factor in this, right? If your parents go to college, you're probably going to go to college, right? That's across the board. I had about half of them couldn't read, like literally could not read. They were handing in ChatGPT generated essays, and like poorly done too. I would do in-class assignments. They couldn't do it. They would hand in blank pages, or there would be some scribbles on it, maybe with their names. They could not understand. There was one that like brought me to tears like several times throughout the semester because I'm talking to him and he can kind of understand what I'm saying. But if I gave him something to read, like here's the assignment or whatever, he could not understand it. And when he wrote, nothing that he wrote down made sense. And it was like looking at a toddler's pre-K scratchings that you would put up on your refrigerator. He had been passed along by people who didn't care enough. He came to their class and they were just like, I don't want to deal with him, and just kept passing him along, passing him along, passing him along. I had another student, he dropped out of my class and, he said, "I appreciate what you're trying to do." He's like, "But I don't belong here." This was midway through the semester. I was like, "Are you leaving school altogether?" And he was like, "Yeah, I can't do this." Like, this is heartbreaking, y'all. Like, this is not like, I laugh at the absurdity of people thinking that, the issue is that Black men are not going to college. The issue is that Black men cannot read at a fourth grade level. They can't read a whole book. Now there's going to be, "Well, I can read a book." Nigga, I am not talking about you. I know good and goddamn well that, yes, there are Black men who read. Yes, I know. But the majority do not. But now they say Black men account for 26% of students across all the HBCUs, and that's down from 38% in 1976. And I bring that up because I want people to stop acting like Black men were going to college in droves. They never were, right? Yes, we had Du Bois. Yes, we had Alain Locke. Yes, we had Carter G. Woodson. Yes, we had those Harvard dudes. But overall, Black men were not going to college in any significant number or any kind of majority. There's never been a time where 50% or more of Black men were college educated. Sorry. Same for Black women. So I'm not like harping on Black men. So we need to think about that. And then we also need to think about the fact that the Black bourgeoisie is very real. Okay. And these people are in the groups shaming people like me who are saying, "You know what? My kid got into Clark Atlanta, but my kid can't go to Clark Atlanta because Clark Atlanta did not give any, financial assistance. And I would have to take out, $20,000 a year in loans, and I'm not doing that." Then they're like, "Well, you should have been saving, and we're paying out of pocket, and we knew that our kid was going to college, and so we're ready." Bitch, that's great. I'm so great. I'm so glad that you planned to pay, $60,000 to go to Howard, which Howard is like $64,000 now. I'm so glad that you can afford to pay out of pocket $64,000 a year for your kid to go to Howard University. That's awesome. I can't. And even if I could, I would not. Sorry. Like, there's something in their heads where this is what they do. And so what you will often see at HBCUs is this upper class of Black people, this Black bourgeoisie, right? So they treat Howard, Hampton, Spelman, Morehouse, Fisk, these so-called upper echelon schools as their own personal Ivies, right? The Black Ivies. And that becomes more important to them. Going to Howard means more than going to Harvard. So it's a whole culture of things. But not even 2 out of 10 people on Howard's campus is a Black man. And so, of course, this story goes into the implications for Black women who are looking to marry and things like that. And people are like, "Well, what are they going to do?" Like in the groups, they're like, "Well, what are they going to do?" I was like, "They can marry women." Why are y'all assuming heteronormativity? First of all, why are you assuming that any of these girls are going to college to find a husband? Is that what you did? Oh, that's what you want your daughter to do? Well, guess what? It's a new generation. But I understand that concern for sure, because again, as a highly educated Black woman, I don't have many Black male peers. I don't. I have the highest degree in the land, and ain't that many of us that have this. No tea, no shade. But that's why we had all those articles from SS Magazine about, you need to learn how to date down. You need to date the garbage man. You need to be comfortable dating the postal guy because he could be a good guy. They've been selling us this story that Black men were never going to match us in those ways. And they've been telling us that the ones that do, they're going to go get white women, right?